Hello everyone! So I'm super excited for today's video because I wanted to try this product out ever since I heard about it, and I was kind of late to the game trying some similar products from Makeup Revolution, and so once I tried the Conceal and Define concealer from Makeup Revolution, I knew that I really wanted to try the foundation because I've actually been really loving this concealer. I've been pretty much using it as a foundation, just putting it, a little bit under my eyes, a couple swipes on my cheeks and chin and forehead, and then just blending it all out, and it looks amazing. Not to mention, I feel like this is the first time that I've actually found a product that matches my skin tone pretty well. At least I think so, hopefully. So I had picked up the concealer, and then when the foundation came onto the Ulta website, I had to get it. So I picked this up, and I'm so excited to test it out for you guys today and see how it works with my dry skin, because my skin is so incredibly dry. I have to do a lot of moisturizing to get my skin to be a little bit hydrated. So I've seen a couple reviews on it, and so far the people who I've watched use it say that they really enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump right in. First, if you guys are new, hey, my name's Liz. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Also ring your notification bells if you guys want to be notified for all my future videos. And if you guys want to see me test out the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation, then just keep watching. Okay, so typically I'm not really a full coverage kind of girl. I do like more of the sheer foundations, sheer coverage. It's just not my favorite to feel foundation sitting on my skin. I do like some of my freckles peeking through. It's just full coverage on me, I just feel like isn't the best look. So I typically go for more of a sheer foundation with this because it is full coverage. I probably will put it on sparingly to try to get it more of a light coverage and see how that works. So if that's kind of what you like, then that's what I'm gonna do today. And then as well, like I said before, my skin is really dry. I get dry patches all over my nose, my chin, and right in between my brows. Those are my most dry spots, just right on in the T-zone basically. I have made sure to go in with a pretty good skincare routine last night and this morning. So last night I went in with a hydrating face mask, and then I went in with the Philosophy Renewed Hope in a Jar moisturizer, and I mixed it with the Tarte Maracuja oil just to make sure that my skin was nice and hydrated this morning when I went in with this. So I'm just reading off my computer right here basically everything that it claims to be. It says that it's lightweight and it has buildable coverage. It is designed to suit every skin tone and type. It's an oil-free yet creamy and comfortable formula that dries down to a long-lasting demi-matte finish. It doesn't settle into fine lines or cling onto dry patches, so that's good because I have lots of dry patches, so we'll see if that's true. So it says it's vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free, and oil-free. So it does dry down to a demi-matte finish, which isn't horrible for my skin. I can get away with using some matte foundation, so it really just depends. And when I do use matte foundations, like I said, I like to go in with my moisturizer. I did put on the Becca First Light Priming Filter primer. This does give my face a little bit more hydration, so I made sure to go in with a hydrating primer as well. So if you have dry skin, I would just make sure that you're doing a good prep beforehand with moisturizer, things like that. Whatever you want to do in your skincare routine. That's just what works best for me, and maybe it'll work best for you doing that as well. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. So this is what the packaging looks like. It is a glass-like bottle. It does look basically exactly like the concealer, just a lot bigger. They also have a super size of the concealer as well, which I may pick up because I absolutely love this stuff. So I get mine in the shade C1, and this one's in the shade F1. I like a good neutral foundation, and I am so pale that I always have to get the lightest shades. And it does have the doe foot applicator, just like the concealer. It's just like a really ginormous Tarte Shape Tape is basically what it looks like. And I actually don't mind that it has the doe foot applicator. I don't know, that's just me. I kind of like it, but then you are kind of like swiping it on your face and putting it back in. So I guess that's one, con to it. I guess you could always, wipe it on your hand or somewhere else. I don't know. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna kind of do a couple dots, and I'm gonna start on one side just in case it dries down fast, and then I'm going in with a damp sponge. This is how I always do my foundation. Like I said, because my skin is so dry, a lot of times brushes just bring up the dry patches on my face, which gets kind of annoying. So I actually prefer beauty blenders, sponges, because I feel like it just presses down any dry patches that I have. And then one little trick that I do with my nose, I'll go through and I'll blend out my foundation, and then whatever I have left on my sponge, I'll go ahead and put it on my nose. I've just noticed that when I put foundation directly on my nose, it can be a little bit too much. The dry patches really stand out. So I just do a little bit, whatever is left on my sponge at that point. I'm gonna do another little dot on my forehead and a little one on my chin. And then I'll zoom you in so that you can see the difference from one side of the face to my other. Okay, so that blended out super, super easy, and it actually feels really nice on my skin. I don't really feel like I'm wearing a whole lot of makeup. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in so you can kind of see a difference between the two. Okay, so this is the side that has the foundation. This is the side that does not. Obviously, you can see that it has covered up a little bit of the redness around my face, around my cheeks especially. I would say you can see a little bit of the dry patches that I have going on my nose. And I haven't exfoliated in a while either, so that could be something else that I could have done to, you know, help the foundation look good on my skin. But so far, I actually really don't mind it. It looks pretty good. A lot of times foundations will look super cakey right under here on my cheeks, and I'm not really getting that from this, which is good. So not horrible so far. I'm actually really liking it. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky either, which is really nice, because then if you don't like setting your foundation, you won't have to. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys back out and we'll finish the other side. Okay, we had a mini crisis. There was a scorpion in our house, but we think it was dead. So we're doing a lot of cleaning today to make sure there's no more scorpions in our house. So even with all that, this side of my face still looks pretty good. So there you go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side of my face now. So that's really all I'm doing. And then if I need to go back in, I'll just use some concealer. Okay, so I definitely still see quite a bit of redness peeking through right here. And then also on my forehead right here, you can still see those red spots, which is, I mean, I'm barely putting any on. I could probably go in with just okay, the one thing about this, it kind of flings foundation, so you kind of have to open it up a little slowly or else you're gonna make a mess, because that's what I've done. So I'm just gonna put another dab right there and just go over that one spot that's a little bit more red than the rest of my face. So far, so good. I'm actually not hating this, which is really nice. So I'm gonna go on with some concealer. I'm gonna use, you know, the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define concealer. I'm just going to do a little bit more around my eyes, really that's it. And this does dry down a bit fast, so I'm just gonna kind of work in sections, and I'm just gonna go over my eye area, go over my eyelids so that they're primed for eyeshadow. Okay, and I'm gonna call that good. Honestly, like I said before, I like more of a light coverage foundation. I want something basically to just kind of even out my skin tone a little bit so I don't have these red spots right on the tops of my cheeks. My chin definitely gets pretty red too. So I don't really mind a little bit, you know, I have a little bit of blemishes that kind of peek through a little bit, but really it's nothing too bad. One right there that's been there for several weeks now and it's taken its sweet time leaving. So yeah, everything feels, honestly, it feels like not sticky at all. So I feel like this is something that you could put on and then you wouldn't have to worry about setting. Although I will still set my under eyes because that's one thing that I definitely don't want creasing. And with my experience with this concealer, it actually doesn't crease hardly at all. So I just take a little bit of powder. I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 05 Fair. And I just take my same damp sponge and I just go right in underneath my eyes. I'll also use this to set my eyelids and then I'll just push it all in. And that's really all I'm gonna do for powder. I'm just taking what's ever left over, kind of going around the edges a little bit so that my bronzer goes on a little bit nicer, but it's not like, it's like dry. It is pretty much all the way dry. So that's huge for me, especially for somebody like me who has dry skin. I don't like using a whole lot of powder because that powder is just gonna emphasize my dry skin, although the Maybelline Fit Me powder is like the one powder I found that does not do that a whole lot. So I'd highly recommend that powder if you have dry skin. It's amazing. I'll just do another close-up so that you guys can see what my skin looks like with the concealer and the powder on. So this is what my skin looks like. I honestly feel like it looks really good. It looks in spots pretty airbrushed, which I really like. I don't feel like it's clinging on to a whole lot of dry spots. I feel like it's pretty much perfect. So I'm really happy about this. Obviously I haven't built it up, so I don't know what it looks like with it built up, if it looks cakey or anything like that. This is just with a light coverage usage. So overall, with it being, you know, a light wash of foundation, I think it looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my bronzer and highlight. So I'm gonna zoom you guys on out and we can do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump on into my Smashbox. This is the Cali contour palette. I actually have been using this like every single day. I really enjoyed the bronzer shade. The contour shade is really nice as well. This blush I love, and then the highlight I really like too. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with bronzer. I'm gonna go into a Sigma F50 brush and use this. I'm gonna take the Morphe R14. I'm just gonna do a little bit of that contour shade. I'm just gonna slightly contour, just a little bit. I'm gonna go in with the Natasha Denona Glow Powder. This is the All Over Glow in the fair shade, I believe. I'm just gonna take this ColourPop Fluff brush and use this to highlight. I'm gonna go in with a tad bit of the Ofra Glazed Donut highlight. I'm just gonna take that same brush. I'm really just doing like a dab, tapping off the excess, and I'm just gonna go right at the top of my cheekbone here. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of setting spray. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And I really like the way that everything is looking. The powder has definitely sunk into the skin really nicely. Everything just looks pretty good, I think. So I'm super happy about all of that. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and do my eyeshadow off camera because I'm filming another little tutorial and review. This is the Makeup Revolution Soph Extra Spice palette. And when I saw this, I thought this was actually absolutely gorgeous. I know it's just another warm palette, but to me, this just looked super pretty, and you got some cool tones in there too, so I feel like it was a really good mix. This to me just screams fall, so I was super excited about this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off of camera, and this video should be up shortly reviewing this one, so if you want to see that, definitely stay tuned. In the next couple days I'll have that up. So yeah, I will check in with you guys and give you guys some updates on how the foundation is wearing. It is currently noon. It's 12:13. You can't see it on my phone, but it's 12:13 in the afternoon, so I will check in with you guys shortly. Okay, hello everyone. So it's now past 8 p.m. So I've had this foundation on for, you know, around 8 hours at this point, And honestly, I feel like it's held up pretty well. Don't mind my crazy hair. It's been a day of cleaning. Basically, the majority of the day we worked and cleaned the house and found scorpions and just one. So it's been an adventurous day. So I'd say that this foundation has held up actually surprisingly well, for the fact that I was up and moving a whole lot of the day of cleaning and exerting myself. So actually I think that it's held up decently well. I've blown my nose a little bit today because we are a little bit sick in our house still. So it's rubbed off a little bit on some parts around my nose. On my chin, I think that's probably where you can see the most like breakage, like it's breaking apart. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it obviously doesn't look amazing. And then kind of on the tops of my cheekbone, on my cheeks right here too, you can kind of see it breaking apart a little bit, and then it's also kind of peeking some red through. You know, on the both of the sides of my nose, it's kind of doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in so you guys can get a closer look at what the foundation looks like. Okay, so I turned the brightness down a little bit so that you guys can hopefully see a little bit better on what's going on with my skin. So you can kind of see the redness peeking through on both sides of my cheeks right here. It doesn't look horrible, but it is breaking up a little bit, and you can kind of see the foundation breaking up. And then as well as with my chin right here, you can definitely kind of see a little bit of it breaking up on my chin as well. But other than that, honestly, I don't think it looks that bad. Doesn't look cakey on top of my nose, which is one of my biggest concerns when I use foundation. It's typically always breaking up right on my nose, so the fact that that's not happening this time is a huge plus for me. I think it looks good. I don't see like anything that I'm too concerned about, anything that I'm not really liking. I think the shade match of it was really nice too, so overall I'm actually really happy with the way that it wore. After 8 hours, it's pretty good for me. Okay, you guys, and that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Just again, to give a brief overview of my thoughts on this foundation. If you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend it. If you have oily skin, I think that you'd really like this. If you have dry skin, you can definitely make it work. Just make sure that you're going in with a moisturizer and a hydrating primer beforehand, one that you know really works. I really like it. I think that this is probably going to be one of my new go-to foundations. I might actually mix it with my L'Oreal Pro Glow because I really like that, and I may want just a little bit more dewiness to it. If you guys have this foundation, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below and what you guys think about it. That is it. That is everything for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Definitely subscribe before you guys leave, and I'll see you next time. Bye!